Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our ClaritySoft webinar. I'm Susan Arnold, Implementation Specialist here at ClaritySoft, and today's webinar is on all things email. We'll be talking about all the different topics that go along with setting up email in your ClaritySoft so that you can send emails out of ClaritySoft, as well as take emails that you've received either in your Outlook or your Gmail and save them back to the database. We will also learn how to create our email signature in ClaritySoft and create email templates that we can share with others in the database. And then after we've done all that sort of setup type of thing, we will then learn how to send an email to a single person from ClaritySoft as well as multiple people in the form of an email blast. And lastly, we'll talk about where you can go to see that your emails have been, first of all, completed in sending, and second of all, if the person who is the recipient has read the email where it pings back to tell you that they have at least clicked on it. So that will be all the things that we will be covering today. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. As a reminder to those that haven't been in a webinar before, there is a Q&A panel that if you have any questions, you may type in the Q&A panel, and then I will do my best to answer them for you. All right. So I am in ClaritySoft right now, and we will be working mostly in the contacts module today because that is where you send emails from, the contact module. And for the most part, you can also send them from opportunities and other locations in the database, but we'll be working here for the most part. And the first thing I want to talk about are the different plugins, add-ins to Gmail and Outlook that make a connection between your ClaritySoft and your email so that you can send emails out and also then save emails back to the database. So I have open up here my Gmail account, and if you look over here, there is a ClaritySoft icon. And I have already installed the Gmail add-in or extension. I'll show you where to go to find the information on how to do that. But basically what you will be doing is you'll start with your Gmail closed. You'll go to our knowledge base and follow the directions in our knowledge base to install the Gmail extension, and then when you reopen the Gmail, it will prompt you to log in and with your ClaritySoft login credentials for the database, and then you will have this window here where you can then choose, well, where when I save an email back to ClaritySoft, can I save it in the database? I may want to save it to an account record, a lead record, a contact, or an opportunity. And you can choose which ones you want. Like maybe you won't save it to an account because it will always go to the contact related to an account. And then once you do that, you can click save. Now, just to show you the login that you would see, I'm going to log out here, which will take me out and then bring up a login window. So when you have installed the extension and reopened your Gmail, this is what will pop up and you will see it. So I can put in my login credentials here for the database that I want. And then it will make the connection. And then I can see it here, so I can see log out. So that is there. Now, when I want to send an email, I can send an email from Gmail, or if I've received an email in Gmail, I can save it back to ClaritySoft. So if I compose a new email over here, I can choose where I want to send it. And I'll just say email sent from Gmail on 10/8/2019. And then down here, you see a send button, which gives you the option of sending it without saving it to ClaritySoft. Or if you click on this little icon here, this says send and save to ClaritySoft at the same time. So when I click this, I choose, well, where do I want to save it? And when you click on contacts, it then has three options here. Select from auto detected. It goes and looks for all the Susan Arnolds in the database, and then I get to pick which one. Or I can search for another contact. Perhaps I don't want to save it back to Susan's record. I want to save it back to another person's record. And then I could type in here and search for a different person to save it to. This is a nice functionality because sometimes within your own organization, two of you might be communicating about a particular client or customer, and you're sending an email to each other about it. And when you save it, you don't want to save it to yourself or to your colleague. You want to save it to the person, the client or customer record. And so that's how you would use this, where you can search another person's name in here. So I don't know what all I have in here. So there, I type in George and it finds all the people with George in their name, and I could choose any one of them. So that's a nice functionality. You can do that not only with the Gmail extension, you can do it with the Outlook plugin. And then if you don't find your person, you can actually have it create a new contact for a specific account. And so that's a nice functionality too. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say I want to save this to this Susan Arnold at ClaritySoft and click save. So my email sent, you can see down here it has sent, and it is in the sent folder for Gmail right here. Okay. But if I return back to my ClaritySoft and I look for Susan, then, and Susan at ClaritySoft, click my expand button, and then when I click on closed activities tab, there is my email that I sent from Gmail on 10/8/2019. And if I click here, it will open it and you'll see the text of the email. So that's how you can do it. Very simple to do. You choose which emails you want to save when you're sending them, or when you're in Gmail and you have some you've received, then you can choose which ones you want to save back to ClaritySoft. Notice here you have different icons. We see a G here. That represents that it's from Gmail, okay? This one represents that it was saved back from Outlook. And then this one represents that the email was actually sent out of ClaritySoft. And if you're connected to Gmail with your email, outgoing email, it will go through your Gmail. If you're connected to Outlook, it will go out through your Outlook. So these three different icons tell you where the email originated, which is nice because you might be trying to find it if you're using more than one email source here. So that will help you in showing you. So as you can see, once you've got the plugin or the extension installed and set up, it's very simple to save things back to ClaritySoft. Now, where do you find this information for the extension for Gmail, the plugin for Outlook, etc.? If you go to our support portal, and let me actually close this right now, you would go to the question mark button in the upper right corner and click on Knowledge Base. And once you get here, you can type in here in the search, Gmail, and press enter. And then you'll see Gmail setup, Gmail extension. If you go to the Gmail extension, it then gives you the instructions. You have installation and configuration, and then how to save to ClaritySoft. So first of all, before you do the installation, you want to close your Gmail. So log out of it, close it. And then you can watch this little video. This will give a video describing how it's going to work. And then follow the directions down here. And you can click on this link that will take you to the installation for the extension, and then click Add to Chrome, and then you just follow it. And as I showed you, when you reopen your Gmail, this window will appear that allows you to log into your database and make the connection. And then you set up where you want to save and save that, and then this will tell you how to do your saving, how to save to the different locations. So the directions here are very clear. You should not have any problem with it, but if you do, then you can call our tech support team and they'll be happy to help you work through it, okay? So that's the Gmail setup. Now the other one is, let's go back to here, Outlook. And for Outlook, we actually have two plugins. We have one, oh, and here's my email that I sent, okay? That I saved, so that's the email sent, I received it, okay? And it's, so I received it, and I also, where'd it go? It's saved to ClaritySoft at the same time that it sent it. So that all worked as it should. But we have two plugins. This one here, if you install it, is our original Outlook plugin that will work with both ClaritySoft Live and ClaritySoft Offline, okay? So if you are using offline, some of you may be, you can install this plugin and then you can use it. Now this one, when you are saving back to the database from Outlook, only saves to contacts. It does not save to opportunities or leads or any of the other modules. So this one is limited to just saving to contacts. But you can install it and then that's fine, it will work. Then this one over here is the ClaritySoft Advanced plugin. And this one you can see you can save to any module. If you have the projects module, some of you may or may not, then this will be active so that you could save to a project. If you don't, then this will be grayed out. But this one is very simple because it does very much the same sort of connection to ClaritySoft, where it's telling me I'm connected, but if I click OK, you can see that I could log out. And now it tells me I'm disconnected. And then if I go back over here, it opens the login window, and I was connected to my real ClaritySoft database, but now I'm disconnected from it, and I can connect myself to my demo database. So it's that simple. It just then tells you you're connected, and it will stay connected until you log out and disconnect yourself. And then any email that I have in here, I can save back to the database. So what I want to do, and it can go from your sent folder to your inbox, either one. So if I create a new email here, I can send this to, let's see, do Susan here, we'll go to this one. And then this was email sent from Outlook on 10/8/2019. Okay, so if I send that, now I don't, if I am using the original Outlook plugin, notice that I could click this save button here and I could save it back to contacts in ClaritySoft as it sends. So this is similar to the Gmail one. The other one, notice, is not here. So I could do that and it would save back to contacts. So let's go ahead and do that. And you do not need to install both of them. So it just depends. Some people install this one because they like to save to contacts most of the time. And so it pops up with a window to confirm that it has found a contact, okay? And it tries to connect it to company. Well, that's not in ClaritySoft, so I'm not sure if my changing the database worked. I think I need to go here. There we go. So I think I'm still, no, there it is. We'll do this one. Let's see. I'm suspecting yes. Oh, I know what's wrong. I can't do that one because I have to set up a different API key. It's connected to my ClaritySoft database, so that was a dumb idea, folks. All right. So anyway, when I sent, let me just do a new one again here. I'm not sure where it went. So that was my fault. Because my offline one, you have to set up differently, and I'll go into that shortly. Let's see. Okay. And if I click send, it's going to send it, all right? And then what I need to do is go to my sent folder. Is it in the right sent folder? I'm not sure where I sent it. Yeah, here we go. So here it is, email sent from Outlook. And what I want to do now is save it back to ClaritySoft, okay? So I click on the email to select it, and then I can come up here and choose where to save it. I don't know if I have an opportunity for this person, so I'm just going to save it to contacts again. And then I get to pick, well, which Susan do I want to save it to? I have myself in here multiple times. So let's say this time I'm going to save it to the Susan Arnold at New Spring Company. And again, you have the same window like you had in Gmail to auto detect, to search for another contact, or create a new one. So it found it, I click save, and then it says successfully saved. So that works very much like the Gmail extension, all right? And you just do the login once you've installed it. Now the save to ClaritySoft, this one, when you do install it, it does have some configuration that you need to do. And you have to click here, and then you have to define connection information. And then you tell it to connect to live, or you tell it to connect to offline. And then you put in your database name, and then the next step is to create what we call an API key. Those directions are all in the knowledge base. So that was the step that I didn't do, which is why it was going to my ClaritySoft database. And I don't want to change that one right now. So let me find where my email went. and move that back over here, and then go out to the help again. And if I go back to the home screen, then you can search for Outlook, and then you have the plugin original and the plugin advanced. And if you're doing the advanced, which most likely that's the one you're going to do, you would go here and just the same as the Gmail extension, first of all, close your Outlook, and then you can go through the steps to install. And the download is here. Now, one of the things about the download, we do have two versions of the advanced plugin. One is for 32-bit Outlook and another one is for 64-bit. If you know that you have the 64-bit Outlook, then you need to go over here and click on Download Center, and you will see Advanced Plugin, download 32-bit, download 64-bit. So I don't know if any of you have that situation, but if you do, then just go to Download Center and you will find the two versions and pick the one you need. Otherwise, you can just do the download. If you have the 32-bit, you can do the download in the directions, right? In the directions. So I just realized that, I don't know, a couple days ago that this one would only download the 32-bit. But all your directions are there, and it's very easy then to set up and log in, and you're good to go, okay? And if you do the original Outlook plugin, it will tell you how to do the API key and create it. So that's setting all of that up. So that gets you now to the next thing, is that allows you to save emails from Outlook back to ClaritySoft, but you also can send emails out of ClaritySoft through either Gmail or Outlook. So that involves going to Settings button up here, the gear shape, and then you're going to go, if you are not an admin user in the system, you're going to go to Email Settings. And on the right, then you will see different fields that you need to fill in. So what these settings are your outgoing email settings for either Outlook or Gmail, or perhaps an SMTP. So the first thing you do is you can enter your name up here, your first and last name, you put in your email address, and then you have to choose what server type you are. So if you are on Outlook and on Office 365, then you would pick Exchange Server. If you're on Gmail, then you would pick Gmail. And then if you're on something else that's your own, like SMTP setup, then you would pick Others. And once you select one of these, then you get other fields to fill in. So the server version, most likely you just pick Current for Exchange Server. For your Exchange Server name, if you are on Outlook, most of the time you can type outlook.office365.com, and that will be good. You don't need an Exchange Server domain unless your company has one, okay? And then down here, you need to make sure this says SSL. Then you'll put your email address again and your email password that you log into your Outlook with, okay? And then you click Apply to save the changes. And then you do a save and test, and with any luck, it will come up and say you've connected successfully. If it comes up and says you've failed, then something about this information it does not like. If you have an IT person in your company, you probably want to talk to them to find out what these different setups would be, okay? So if you have any problem with that, first of all, check with your IT person to get the detail. And then if you can't figure it out, then you might have to call tech support again for additional help. But once that's set up, you do need to log out and log back in to make that setting connected. And then you have the best of all worlds now, where you can look up a person and you can click on their email address. It opens an email form. You can see sent from CS on 10/8 there, and then you can type your text to send. Next step we're going to learn is how to create our signature that will drop in automatically and create templates that we can pull in. But if I just send this right now, I can send this out, and I've emailed it from ClaritySoft. It's gone out through my Outlook. So in my Outlook, it's in my sent folder, and it's automatically saved here. And so you can see the gold email icon means it was sent from ClaritySoft. So you know that. So this gives you all capabilities now of sending emails out of ClaritySoft, and then also saving emails back to ClaritySoft from either your Gmail or your Outlook. All right. So next step, get that signature created. So to create your email signature, go to Settings, and you'll see here Email Signatures under the My Settings section. And notice here I have several email signatures, so that tells you you can save more than one version of your signature if you need to. And all you have to do is click Add, and then give it a name. Just put 10/8, okay? And to make it easy, if you already have your signature created in Outlook, let's say, you can go back to Outlook, and I always do this by opening a new email, because I never can figure out where it is otherwise. And I go to the signature and go to signatures, which is where you create them. And then I choose the signature I want, and I copy it. And then I can get rid of this. And then I come in here and paste it with Control V. Did I do a copy? Yeah, there it goes. So it comes in, I have the text. The logo obviously does not look so good, nor do the social media things look good. But what you have to do now is you have to actually upload these images to the server. And that's the tricky part of creating your signature if you're copying and pasting it. It's not hard, it's just that's why you're in this webinar, to learn how to do this. Okay, so what you do is you right-click on the image, go to Image Properties. And this box will open up, and it's going to tell you, you know, there's an image here, but it doesn't know what to display because it hasn't been uploaded to the server. And then up here, you see the path of where the image is located. All right. So the easiest way to do this is to simply right-click on it and copy. Then go to the tab that says Upload. Click on Choose File. It will open up a window to search for it, and then you just click in the file name and paste that link in, that path, and click Open. And it will then go to the folder where it's stored, and you'll see now here's the name of the image file. Next thing is to send it to the server, which then returns you back to the image info tab, because now it can display the logo correctly because it's now up on the server and available. And then most likely this is already set to the correct size because you're just trying to duplicate your signature. But if you wanted to resize this, you come over here and you could type a new number for the width, and the height would all automatically resize in the proper ratio. And that's controlled by this little padlock. You want to pay attention to this because this padlock can become unlocked. You can see how it's unlocked. That means that if I type a new width in, my height will not change to stay in the same ratio. And I don't want that to happen because then my graphic would get distorted. So always look at that to make sure it's locked. 99.9% of the time it is, but if you're flipping around with your mouse, you could unlock it accidentally. But if I change this to 150, see how the height automatically changes. So that's what that's for. So you can change it if you want, but if everything's A-okay, then you just click OK, and now my logo is displaying properly. And then I would do the same thing here. I would right-click, image properties, right-click, copy, go to upload, choose the file, paste it in, click open, get the image, send it to the server. I get this, it's fine, I click OK. So I would work my way across all of these until I have all the little social media ones in. I'm going to make it quicker for us because I'm just going to delete these. I don't need them. Okay, so I have my signature. If I want to change the font here, this comes in as just sort of a plain old HTML font. And if I want to change my text, I can select it and then I can pick what font I want. Okay, so let's see. Let's do that one. And then the size also will not be there, so you can select a size and you can set it up the way you want, okay? Once you have it the way you want, click in the default checkbox here, and then that will make it your default signature so that when you do open a new email in ClaritySoft, it will automatically put your signature in. And then you could just save it. And you now have your signature available. It's marked as default. All right. I'm not 100% sure if I need to log out, but my mantra with ClaritySoft, if you've been in settings, if in doubt, log out. It'll save you gritting your teeth. So now, I go back to contacts. And I open an email. I'll look at myself up again. And I want to send an email. There's my signature that I just created. There's my one little icon. Okay. So that's how you create a signature and save it. And like I said, if you have different versions of your signature, you can save multiple versions. And then you can choose which one, because down here you see insert signature. I have no signature, don't want one. I have Susan CS signature, which doesn't have any other icons. And I have new signature. And then I have the one that I just created. So you can have multiple signatures and you can choose which one you want to have in your email. All right. And then down here, we also see insert templates. So now we're going to go learn how to create templates. Back to settings. And go to email templates. So all of these things here that you see are available to every single user, all right? They're not controlled by the admin user because they're under the My Settings section, which all users will see down to here, at least change password, okay? This stuff a non-admin user will not see. So templates can be created by any user. And then once you do create a template, however, if you've created a really good one, you can choose to share it with other people, okay? So a template is basically an email. If you find yourself sending out the same email a lot of times, and the way that you're doing it is copying it from a previously sent email and pasting it into a new email, then you want to create a template. And so it's a way for you to create a template with certain text, and it's addressed to the individual person, so you never have to go in and change the name. It just pulls in the name. And so you can create any kind of templates that you want. And I have some different ones here. And so let's just create one from scratch. So you just come here, you click the add button. It opens a new email form. First of all, you give your template a name. So let's see, what should we do? I'll just call it sorry I missed you, or missed you, or something like that. Again, you would call it something that makes sense. This is the name of the template, not what the customer is going to see. So the subject line is what the customer is going to see. And then you can come down into the body of the text and say, hello, type a space, and then you don't want to have to put the person's name in every time. You want it to just get pulled in automatically. So if you click on the little green arrow here, it says insert fields, and you get a list of all the fields that you can insert. So if you wanted to pull the first name in, then you could do the first name. And then every time you pull up this template, no matter what person you're sending it to, will always pull in their first name automatically. You never have to think about it. It just pulls it in. The other field that's here that I often, when I'm working with people, talk about is the salutation field. This field in ClaritySoft allows you to put in how would you greet the person. It could be for their first name 90% of the time, but then some people have nicknames. And so then you could put the nickname in the salutation field. Sometimes people want to be greeted formally, like Dr. Smith. That's what you call him. You never call him by his first name or anything. And so Dr. Smith could go into the salutation field. If you are very consistent in your records, putting that information in the salutation field, then you could use that field instead. So it'll be up to you knowing, how your database is set up. But if I pull first name in, then it's going to put the field name in, and I would just press enter, and then I say, I just left you a phone message or tried to reach you or something, you would make a better and then here, you do not put in your signature. You simply type the text because your signature will pull in automatically. So you type all the text that you want, you save it, and then you can go back now And let's say I want to email this to this person. And when I click on it, again, it's going to have it from me and to me here. My signature is here, and then I come down here and click on Insert Template, and there's my template. So you can see all my templates are here. And when you click on these, you always want to click on the icon. Don't click on the link down here, because if you do, it opens a web page, and that's not where you want to go. So click on the icon. It places the text from the template in here, and when I send this, it's going to put in hello Susan, because Susan is in the first name field in the record that I'm pulling it from. So all I have to do is click send, and off it goes. So again, if you are sending kind of standard emails out, create templates and save the templates, because that will save you a lot of time. Instead of looking for something, copying, pasting, or even typing it from scratch, you create the template. You can always modify the template. For example, if I did another one here, what is it doing? Oh, there it is. Okay. And I did a template. I can click in here. This is not carved in stone, and I can type other text. Because I might want to personalize it a bit. You know, maybe this person is kind of a buddy or friend, and I can type other text before sending the email. So your template would have the basics of what you want, and then you can type additional text before you send it. All right. So that's how you create templates and send them out. And you can create as many templates as you like and save them. And then, as I said before, once you've created your templates, if you decided that what you created was, you know, a really good one, you can come back here and click on the row action button and then say share it, and you will get a list of all your users, and then you can choose whether to share it with everybody or whether to share it with only certain people. And then once you click the share button, those other users will have a copy of this template when they go to their email templates, and they will see it. Okay, I have a question here. Let me get to you in a minute. I'll get to you, Joshua, okay? So that's creating templates, and then and also sending to a single contact, okay, which is very simple to do. And there are multiple ways to do this. If you're in the list view in contacts, you can send it from here by clicking on the email link. If you're in the contact record, you can, if you have it open for whatever reason, because you're doing some work in the record and you want to send an email, up here you have an icon for send email. You click that and it opens an email form. So that's the second way to do it. And then also you have your other activities that you can add. And then the other way you can do it is actually out in list view again. You click on the row action button and you can say email contact. So there are multiple ways to do it. I don't know, the most obvious one is to click on the email address link, unless you don't have that in your columns. And then you can come over here and do it from the row action button. All right, Joshua is asking me a question. If you send an email through ClaritySoft, which records it as an activity automatically, then will the Save to ClaritySoft button in Outlook duplicate the activity record? No, it will actually tell you that it's already saved to the system, I believe. So if you try to save it again from Outlook, it'll say it's already there. So that's what should happen. Okay. All right, so next thing is sending out emails to more than one person at a time. And this is called an email blast. Now, if I want to preface this with some things. If you are not using the marketing module in ClaritySoft, then when you're sending out an email blast to multiple people, you need to be aware of any restrictions that your internet service provider has on how many emails you can send out at one time. So before you start blasting out to hundreds of people, you need to check what are the restrictions. So usually it might be 100 per day, it might be 150 at one time that you can send. So if you have 5,000 contacts in your database, you definitely don't want to send out to 5,000 people, because you can get in trouble with your email address and it can become blacklisted. So just be aware of that. Now, if you're using the marketing module, there aren't any restrictions. It just depends on how many emails per month you're allowed to send out. So I just want to bring that up before we do this. But if you're sending out something to, 20, 25, less than that, maybe 50, you're probably fine. So what you're going to do in your database is usually you want to have some kind of field that allows you to pull up a list. And what I've added in my database, I've created a field, a custom field called communications list. And I've made it a multi-select drop-down so that I can select one or more options for this person to receive different types of communications. So if you don't have something like this in your database, then you can add it. You could also add something, some other category, maybe like a job function or job role, and you want to find all your engineers, or you want to find all the salespeople or whatever. So, you may already have this in your database and you may not, but you'll want to create something that allows you to filter the list. And so what I want to do, let's say, is I want to send a promotional type email out. And so I want to come up here to my search, my spyglass, and go to advanced search. And then in here, I can go to my communications list field and select promotional. And then click search. So now it's going to pull up all of the people who have been set with promotional in their communications list field. And I have 25 people. Okay, and you can see some of them are set for all of the options and some are set only for promotional. So that's what the purpose of that multi-select list allows you to select which option you want, and some people might be on all the lists and some people not. So once I have my list, then I come over here to the left and click in this checkbox to select all of the records. Then I go up here to the list actions and click on it, and my first option here is email contacts. Now notice I also have marketing email because I have the marketing module in my database. You may see the same thing. If you're sending out to bunches of people, you want to go to marketing email. If you're only sending out a few emails, then you can go to email contacts. So, and you may not have marketing, so you have no choice. So I'm going to click on email contacts. Then this next window, which is an important one. When you're selecting with the checkboxes over here, the number of records that will be selected will be how many per page. The checkboxes only go per page. In ClaritySoft, this page here defaults to 25. So you want to check how many you are looking at versus how many records you have. So for example, if I was looking at 25 per page and I had 35 records, then I would miss the second page of 10 records. So if you're not sure what to do and you know you've run a filter, then you can click in this all filtered records. Otherwise, if you know you're going to capture everything because they're all on one page, you can do all selected records marked as checked. So just, pay attention to these two numbers down here and then you'll know what to do. So I'm going to click apply. And then it opens an email for me. It has a list over here of all the people. Now notice that of the 25 that were in the filtered list, it's telling me that I'm about to email 21. Well, the reason for the discrepancy is one of two reasons. One would be that for 4 people, there is not an email address. Therefore, it cannot email. And the second reason would be that the opt-out email option is checked in that contacts record, which means they're not supposed to be sent any emails, okay? So that would account for the difference. But you can see all of your emails here and your people. And notice that my signature is already in here. And so now I can go down, or I can go up, sorry, and click on template. And if I have a template saved, then I can choose the template. Well, I've got one here called vacation time. We're sort of past that. But notice this template, it throws in the subject that was saved with the template. It has hello, first name. Summer has arrived, and then you can see here that you can insert images into your templates, and then it has the signature at the bottom. So once you have that, you can send it. Now again, if you wanted to type something else in here, you can type something else in here before you send it. So that's up to you. When you're ready to send, you can simply come down here and click send, and then all 21 emails will go out separately. No one knows that anybody else is receiving the same email. They are individually addressed where they're going to say, hello, Adam, hello, Alan, hello, Angela, and so on and so forth. They will all be in your sent folder for either Gmail or Outlook. And they will all be saved, or each one will be saved under the contact record for the person that's receiving it. So all that's going to happen at once. Now, another thing that you can do here, if you click on the arrow next to the send button, you can schedule the email to go out. So you could say, well, I just want this to go out, in an hour, not right now, or in 2 hours, or tomorrow. I'm just doing it, preparing it, but I don't want it to go out until tomorrow. So you can schedule it to send, and then it'll just sit, and it'll wait until tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock a.m., whatever time zone you're in, and send it out, okay? But this can let you also line some things up where you could say, well, I want to send this first email out today or tomorrow, and then in 2 days, I want to line up another one to the same group. So it allows you to schedule different emails staggered if you want, and once you've scheduled them, you can forget about them, and they will just go when they're supposed to go, all right? So you can consider that. Well, I'm going to cancel this because most of these emails aren't good ones, and send them out. So once you've sent things, then where do you go to track them? You go to the email manager. And again, if you have the marketing module, then you're going to see this screen. If you do not, the only thing that you're going to see here is this email tracking. And so when you click on this email tracking tab, this will show you any emails that have been sent out of ClaritySoft. And up here you have time filters. And you can choose this week, this month, this quarter. So right now, this week, these are the ones I've just sent today. So you can see all the ones I've sent out today. And it will tell you what account it was going to, what contact. It went from the contacts module. It didn't send out from opportunities. Okay. And then it's from Susan Arnold. And then it was completed. Now, when I go and click on these things in my email inbox, it should ping back and say that it was read on a certain date. So it hasn't done that yet. But if I choose this year, this shows me all the emails that have been sent so far this year. So as you can see, they go back to January. So you have time filters up here. You also have user filters. You can choose yourself as a user or anyone else, and then you can see what emails have been sent. But this allows you to, you know, see, like here, this pinged back that this was somebody clicked on this, or I obviously clicked on it, on July the 9th. It was sent on the 9th. I clicked on it on the 9th when I received it. This one is the same thing on the 26th. Okay. So if I've clicked on it as a recipient, it pings back. And so you will then know whether someone for sure received it and then whether they clicked on it or not. So that's nice to know. And then you can use this as your follow-up from here. But you can open the email that was sent so you can see it. All right. And you can delete it if you want from here. But that's what the email tracking is for, is to allow you to see what's been sent. And that keeps you going. Now another, I want to give you one more level here of thinking before I let you go. We were doing everything from the contacts module so far, and we use the communications list to choose the contacts to send to. Well, let's say what I want to do is I want to send to all of the people that are in manufacturing. And maybe I want to send it to all my customers in manufacturing. Well, I don't have this data at my contact level. So what I can do is search and go to the sector, choose manufacturing, and if I also want to choose the status, which one? I have two fields that are the same here. We'll see if this one works. So here are all my customers that are in the manufacturing sector, and I have 20 records. Okay. So in order to email, I need to be in contacts. So the way to get to contacts from here is to select all the account records, go to list actions, view contacts. Again, you're going to get this all selected records marked as checked or all filtered records. You know, if in doubt, just do the all filtered records and you'll be fine every time. So then ClaritySoft flips me from accounts to contacts and is showing me all the contacts associated with those manufacturing accounts. And I have 20 of them. So that means there's only one contact per record, or some of the records to have no contacts. So now I'm ready to email from here, select list actions, email contacts. It opens the email. I have 19, so there's one with no email address. I open my template that I want and or type my email. Now, if you're typing an email from here, you can still type hello and space, and notice there's insert fields, and then you can pull in either the first name or the salutation. So you can do it right from here, you know, type whatever you want and then send it. So I just want you to know that when you're in ClaritySoft in different locations in the database, you can filter, especially at the account level, and then view contacts and then email from contacts. Now, if you're in activities, you can search in activities for something, select them, and then you go to list actions and you can email contacts from activities. So you're not just stuck in the contacts module. You also can do the same thing in opportunities. If you wanted to find all your opportunities that were at a particular stage or of a particular type, then you can filter, go select, go to list actions and email contacts. So hopefully with all of this now, you've gotten some ideas on how you can use the emails within the database to send out. And then getting the plugins and extensions installed so that you can save back to the database. Hopefully I've helped you with all of that. And let me return back to my PowerPoint. And I thank you. I'm 2 minutes late, better than normal. And so thank you for attending. We had a nice sized group today. And if you need any help with anything, then you can contact our tech support team at 888-838-7487, extension 2, or email them at support@claritysoft.com. If you're still in quick start or onboarding with Linda or myself, then talk to us. We usually walk you through all of this anyway, so you should be in good shape. And then future topics. We're halfway through October almost, so we're going to think about what we're going to do for November. So if you have any really good ideas for webinars, then please send them to info@claritysoft.com. And we will be happy to develop a webinar around those topics that you suggest. So with that, go and have a wonderful afternoon, and hopefully we'll see you for next week's webinar.